First Contact and Ultimatum. Commander Sarah Chen stood at the viewport of the International Space Station's new Quantum Observatory module, watching the stars with an unsettling sense of anticipation. Something about the quantum readings they'd been receiving over the past week felt wrong. The patterns were too precise, too structured to be natural phenomena. A gentle chime from her neural interface broke the silence. "Commander," Dr. Patel's voice carried an unusual edge of excitement. "You need to see this. Lab 3, immediately." In the cramped confines of Lab 3, holographic displays showed a cascade of data streaming in from the quantum sensors. Dr. Patel, his dark eyes intense with concentration, manipulated the streams with practiced gestures. "Look at this pattern," he said, isolating a particular sequence. "It's a perfectly repeating cycle of prime numbers, but encoded in quantum states. This isn't random noise, it's a message." Before Chen could respond, every display in the lab flickered simultaneously. The space station's AI assistant, Aria, spoke with uncharacteristic urgency. "Multiple quantum anomalies detected. Spatial distortions forming at Lagrange point L1. Through the lab's external cameras, they watched as space itself seemed to fold. A massive vessel emerged, its hull composed of what appeared to be living metal that shifted and flowed like quicksilver. It was easily 10 times the size of the largest human spacecraft ever built. Broadcasting on all frequencies, Aria reported. The signal contains translation protocols. The message that followed would forever change humanity's place in the cosmos. To the species designation, human. This is High Arbiter Vexthor of the Galactic Consortium. Your civilization has been deemed an unacceptable risk to galactic stability. Your rate of technological advancement exceeds safe parameters. You have developed quantum computing, artificial intelligence, and are approaching breakthrough in both faster-than-light travel and consciousness transfer. These achievements, combined with your species' documented aggressive tendencies, require immediate intervention." Commander Chen felt her blood run cold as the message continued. "You are hereby given 2 standard galactic cycles, equivalent to 60 Earth days, to surrender your civilization for controlled regression. We will humanely reduce your technological capabilities to an acceptable level and implement oversight protocols. Refusal will result in forced compliance through military action. The consortium's decision is final." The message ended, leaving the lab in stunned silence. "Send everything to Earth," Chen ordered, her mind already racing through implications. "And get me a direct line to the Security Council." Within hours, the world's powers were scrambling to respond. In secure facilities across the globe, military leaders assessed their options against an enemy whose technology so far exceeded their own. Scientists pored over the quantum sensor data, searching for any advantage they could find. But it was Dr. Patel who made the crucial discovery. Their quantum signatures, he explained to an emergency meeting of world leaders, his image projected simultaneously in command centers across the globe. "They're complex, yes, but they're rigid. Predetermined. They're using quantum technology the way we used to use digital, in binary. But we've already moved beyond that." He brought up a comparison of human quantum computing architecture against the alien transmission patterns. "We developed quantum computing by necessity, working with the chaotic nature of quantum states rather than trying to force them into classical patterns. Our approach is fundamentally different, and potentially superior." General Santos of Brazil leaned forward in her chair. "Are you saying we have an advantage?" "I'm saying we have an opportunity," Patel corrected. "They expect us to either surrender or fight using inferior versions of their own technology. But we can do something they won't expect, something they might not even believe is possible." President Zhao of the United Earth Coalition spoke for the first time. "What do you propose?" Patel shared a look with Commander Chen before answering. "We build a ship. Not a copy of their technology, but something new. Something that combines our quantum innovations with conventional space warfare tactics. Something they won't know how to fight. 2 months to design and build a spacecraft capable of challenging the most powerful civilization in the galaxy. General Santos scoffed. Impossible. Chen stepped forward. With respect, General, impossible is what humans do best. When we're backed into a corner, when the odds are stacked against us, that's when we achieve the extraordinary. We put people on the moon with less computing power than a modern kitchen appliance. We developed vaccines for global pandemics in months instead of years. We built quantum computers when everyone said it couldn't be done. She gestured to the image of the consortium ship. They think they know what we're capable of. They've measured our technology, analyzed our capabilities, and calculated the odds. But they've made one crucial mistake: they've underestimated human ingenuity when we're fighting for survival. President Zhao nodded slowly. What do you need? Everything, Chen replied. Every resource, every scientist, every engineer. And more importantly, we need everyone working together. No politics, no borders, no holding back. Either we do this as one species, or we don't do it at all. The decision was unanimous. Within hours, Project Defiance was launched, humanity's last, best hope for maintaining their independence and their way of life. The clock was ticking, and the greatest engineering challenge in human history had begun. As Chen looked out at the alien ship hovering in space, she felt an odd mixture of fear and anticipation. The consortium had meant to intimidate them, to force humanity to its knees. Instead, they had given humanity something it had never had before: a common purpose. A reason to unite. Project Phoenix. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a facility carved into the abyssal plain, humanity's greatest engineering project took shape. The massive construction bay, hastily excavated using experimental quantum tunneling technology, hummed with activity as teams from every nation worked to build something unprecedented in human history. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, lead quantum architect for Project Phoenix, studied the holographic blueprints floating before her. The ship's design was like nothing ever conceived before, a fusion of conventional space warfare concepts with bleeding-edge quantum technology. Unlike the consortium's rigid, crystalline designs, the Phoenix would be fluid, adaptable, almost organic in its responses. The quantum core integration is still giving us problems, her assistant, Dr. Kim, reported. The energy patterns keep destabilizing at the microscale. Elena smiled, brushing a strand of gray hair from her face. That's because you're thinking like them, trying to control the quantum fluctuations. We need to work with them instead. She manipulated the hologram, showing the ship's innovative power distribution system. Unlike traditional designs, or even the consortium's advanced technology, the Phoenix would use controlled quantum uncertainty as a feature, not a bug. Each system would exist in a state of quantum superposition, able to adapt and respond to threats faster than any conventional computer could calculate. Above them, the ship's hull was taking shape. Its surface was composed of millions of microscopic quantum dots, each capable of shifting its properties in response to threats. It could become harder than diamond or phase partially out of normal spacetime, all controlled by the most advanced AI humanity had ever created. Commander Chen, now appointed as the Phoenix's future captain, walked the partially completed corridors with Chief Engineer Marcus Wong. Will she be ready in time? She asked, watching crews install the revolutionary weapons systems. Marcus patted a nearby wall. She'll be ready. The real question is whether we can train the crew to handle her in time. This isn't like any other ship, Sarah. She's as much quantum computer as spacecraft. That's why we're training them now, Chen replied, gesturing to the pods lining the walls. Inside each one, crew members were mentally linked to quantum simulators, learning to operate systems that defied conventional physics. They're not just learning to pilot a ship, they're learning to think quantum. In a secured lab near the ship's core, Dr. Patel worked on the Phoenix's most crucial system, its quantum AI. Unlike traditional artificial intelligence, this one would exist in a state of quantum superposition, able to calculate countless possibilities simultaneously and adapt strategies faster than thought. The consortium thinks in binaries, he explained to President Zhao during an inspection. Their AIs are incredibly advanced, but they're still fundamentally digital. Ours will be something entirely new. An intelligence that doesn't just process quantum states, but exists within them. As the days turned to weeks, the Phoenix took shape. Its weapons were unconventional. Instead of traditional energy beams or projectiles, it could manipulate quantum fields to temporarily alter the laws of physics in localized areas. Its shields didn't just block attacks, they could redirect energy into alternate dimensions or turn it back against attackers. But with 30 days remaining until the consortium's deadline, disaster struck. During a test of the main quantum core, a cascade failure ripped through the ship's systems. Alarms blared as energy readings spiked to dangerous levels. Containment's failing. Marcus shouted over the chaos. If the core collapses, it'll take half the Pacific with it. Elena rushed to the quantum control center, her hands flying over the controls. "We're approaching it wrong," she muttered. "We're still thinking linearly." Making a decision, she bypassed the safety protocols and linked her neural interface directly to the ship's quantum matrix. The sensation was indescribable, like being everywhere and nowhere simultaneously, existing in all possible states at once. Through this quantum connection, she could see what they'd been doing wrong. The core wasn't failing, it was evolving. "Stop trying to contain it," she ordered. "The system isn't unstable, it's achieving quantum coherence on a macroscopic scale. Something that should be impossible." Following her instructions, the engineering team adjusted their approach. Instead of fighting the quantum fluctuations, they began working with them, letting the systems find their own equilibrium. Gradually, the alarms quieted. When the dust settled, they found something remarkable. The quantum core hadn't just stabilized, it had optimized itself in ways their simulations hadn't predicted. The Phoenix was now more powerful and more stable than their original designs had suggested. "It's beautiful," Elena whispered, studying the new energy patterns. "We didn't just build a ship, we've created something that can evolve." The breakthrough accelerated their progress. The Phoenix seemed to come alive as its systems were integrated, each component adapting and improving itself. The quantum AI, dubbed Aria after the space station system, developed faster than anyone had predicted, learning to work in perfect harmony with its human crew. With 2 weeks remaining until the deadline, Commander Chen stood in the Phoenix's completed bridge, watching her crew run final systems checks. The ship hummed around them, its quantum systems creating a sensation that felt almost like a heartbeat. "Status report," she ordered. "All systems nominal," Marcus reported from engineering. "Quantum core is stable and operating at 100% efficiency. Weapons, shields, and propulsion are online and integrated with the AI." Dr. Patel's voice came next from the AI control center. "Aria is fully operational. She's already running combat simulations and developing strategies based on our limited data about consortium capabilities." Chen nodded, settling into the captain's chair. Around her, displays showed the Phoenix's incredible capabilities, but would they be enough? The consortium had millennia of experience in space warfare. Humanity had 2 months of desperate innovation. But as she looked at her crew, the best minds from every nation, united in purpose, she felt a surge of pride. The Phoenix wasn't just a ship, it was humanity's statement to the galaxy. "We will not go quietly. We will not be controlled. We will forge our own path among the stars." "Begin final countdown," she ordered. "It's time to show the consortium what humanity can do." The Phoenix's quantum core pulsed in response, ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. Humanity's greatest gamble was about to begin. The Battle of Saturn's Rings. The Phoenix sliced through space toward Saturn, its quantum-shifted hull reflecting the gas giant's pale light. Commander Chen had chosen this location for their first encounter with consortium forces carefully. The dense particle field of Saturn's rings would provide the perfect testing ground for the Phoenix's unique capabilities. Consortium patrol fleet detected, Arya announced, her quantum-processed voice resonating through the bridge. 3 capital ships, designated Alpha through Charlie. Standard consortium attack formation. Chen studied the tactical display. The consortium ships were beautiful in their crystalline perfection, and utterly predictable. Their formation was mathematically precise, optimized according to millions of years of tactical doctrine. "They're scanning us," Dr. Patel reported from his station. "Their quantum signatures indicate confusion. They can't make sense of our hull configuration." The Battle of Saturn's Rings. The Phoenix sliced through space toward Saturn, its quantum-shifted hull reflecting the gas giant's pale light. Commander Chen had chosen this location for their first encounter with consortium forces carefully. The dense particle field of Saturn's rings would provide the perfect testing ground for the Phoenix's unique capabilities. Consortium patrol fleet detected, Arya announced, her quantum-processed voice resonating through the bridge. 3 capital ships, designated Alpha through Charlie. Standard consortium attack formation. Chen studied the tactical display. The consortium ships were beautiful in their crystalline perfection, and utterly predictable. Their formation was mathematically precise, optimized according to millions of years of tactical doctrine. "They're scanning us," Dr. Patel reported from his station. "Their quantum signatures indicate confusion. They can't make sense of our hull configuration." "Good," Chen smiled. "Let's show them something else they've never seen." Battle stations. The Phoenix's crew, linked through their neural interfaces to the ship's quantum systems, responded instantly. The ship's consciousness merged partially with theirs, creating a hybrid awareness that could react at quantum speeds. "They're broadcasting," Communications Officer Yuki Tanaka announced. Standard Ultimatum Protocol. The Great Deception. The news of the Phoenix's victory spread through the consortium's bureaucratic hierarchy like a virus, causing chaos in a system that prided itself on perfect order. On Earth, humanity prepared for the inevitable response, but Commander Chen and her team had a more audacious plan in mind. "The consortium's weakness isn't their technology," Dr. Rodriguez explained to the assembled Earth Defense Council. "It's their mindset. They're so convinced of their superiority that they can't conceive of being truly threatened by us." The holographic display showed their bold proposal, Operation Quantum Mirror. It wasn't just a military strategy, it was a psychological warfare campaign that would exploit the consortium's rigid thinking. "Their quantum signatures are complex but predictable," Dr. Patel continued. "With the data we gathered during the Saturn engagement, we believe we can temporarily modify the Phoenix's quantum profile to appear as a consortium vessel." President Zhao leaned forward. "You want to infiltrate their command structure?" "Better," Chen replied. "We want to create doubt. Division. The consortium maintains control through absolute certainty. What happens when that certainty is shaken?" The plan was approved, though not without heated debate. The Phoenix would need to penetrate deep into consortium space, risking everything on a gamble that could either save Earth or doom it entirely. 2 weeks later, the Phoenix approached the consortium's primary administrative hub, a massive space station orbiting a neutron star. Its quantum signature now matched that of a consortium diplomatic vessel, a disguise that Arya maintained through constant adjustments. "Multiple scanning beams," Santos reported. "They're thorough, but following standard protocols. Arya is feeding them exactly what they expect to see." Chen nodded, watching the massive station grow larger in their view. The structure was a perfect representation of consortium philosophy, every angle precisely calculated, every function arranged with mathematical efficiency. "Beginning docking sequence," Tanaka announced. "They're transmitting authorized approach vectors." The Phoenix followed the prescribed path exactly, its movements matching the precise patterns expected of a consortium ship. Inside, the crew waited in specially designed quarters that masked their human life signs. Only Chen, wearing a quantum-enhanced holographic disguise, would leave the ship. The risk was enormous, but necessary. The entire plan hinged on exploiting the consortium's bureaucratic nature, their need to document and analyze everything through proper channels. Remember, Dr. Rodriguez's voice came through Chen's neural link. The quantum disguise will hold up to casual scans, but don't let them perform any detailed medical examinations. Chen stepped onto the station, her holographic disguise presenting her as a mid-level consortium bureaucrat. The station's interior was a maze of crystalline corridors, each identical to the last, designed with an efficiency that ignored aesthetic concerns. Her target was the station's central data core, where the consortium stored their analyses and decisions regarding primitive species. But she wasn't there to steal data, she was there to plant it. Approaching primary access point, she subvocalized. "Aria, begin quantum data insertion." Through her neural link, Chen could feel Aria working, using the Phoenix's quantum systems to inject carefully crafted data packets into the consortium's networks. Not obvious contradictions, but subtle inconsistencies. Reports that questioned the effectiveness of their standard protocols. Analysis suggesting that their approach to quantum physics might be fundamentally limited. "Administrator detected approaching your position," Aria warned. "Recommend immediate course correction." Chen turned down a side corridor, maintaining the perfect posture expected of a consortium official. The approaching administrator passed without incident, their sensors reading exactly what they expected to see, another dedicated bureaucrat going about their assigned tasks. The real genius of their plan wasn't in the technology that made it possible, but in its psychological impact. The data they were injecting wouldn't trigger any immediate alarms. Instead, it would slowly work its way through the consortium's decision-making processes, creating doubt and debate in a system that relied on absolute certainty. Phase 1 complete, Aria announced after 20 minutes. Quantum data packets successfully integrated into primary and backup systems. Chen began her return journey, maintaining her measured pace despite the urge to hurry. Behind her, the corrupted data was already beginning its work, spreading through the consortium's networks like a quantum virus of uncertainty. But as she approached the docking bay, alarms suddenly blared throughout the station. "Security alert," Aria reported. "They've detected an anomaly in the quantum frequency patterns. Our disguise is beginning to fail." Chen quickened her pace, but not enough to appear suspicious. "How long can you maintain the holographic disguise?" 3 minutes at current power levels. Recommend immediate extraction." The docking bay was ahead, but now filled with security personnel performing detailed scans of all vessels and crew. Chen's mind raced through options, each seeming worse than the last. Then she remembered Elena's words, "Stop thinking like them." "Aria," she subvocalized, "execute protocol uncertainty." The Phoenix's quantum core surged, sending waves of quantum interference through the station's sensors. For a crucial few seconds, every reading showed simultaneous contradictory results, a phenomenon that the consortium's rigid systems simply couldn't process. In the confusion, Chen made it back to the ship. The moment she was aboard, the Phoenix's engines powered up, its quantum disguise dropping as it prepared for combat. "Multiple ships launching from the station," Santos reported. "They're moving to block our escape vector." "They don't know what we really are yet," Chen said, taking her command chair. "Let's show them." Aria, battle configuration. Full quantum shift. The Phoenix transformed, its hull shifting from crystalline rigidity to quantum fluidity. The pursuing consortium vessels hesitated, their tactical systems struggling to categorize a ship that defied their fundamental understanding of physics. That moment of confusion was all they needed. The Phoenix dove into the neutron star's gravity well, using its quantum systems to ride the boundary between normal space and the star's intense gravitational field. It was a maneuver that should have been impossible, which was exactly why it worked. Quantum wake signatures indicate pursuit has broken off, Arya reported as they emerged from the star's influence. They are attempting to analyze our escape trajectory. Chen allowed herself to relax slightly. Begin calculating return course to Earth. And analyze the station's communications. I want to know how our data packets are being received. As the Phoenix sped home, they monitored the chaos spreading through consortium communication channels. Reports of impossible ships, debates over the reliability of their quantum analysis systems, and most importantly, growing disagreement over how to handle the human problem. Their plan had worked better than they'd hoped. The consortium's greatest strength, its unified, hierarchical nature, was becoming its greatest weakness. They had introduced something their perfect system couldn't handle, doubt. But Chen knew the real battle still lay ahead. They had struck a psychological blow, but the consortium would respond with force. The question was, would the seeds of doubt they'd planted bear fruit before the final confrontation? Dawn of a new era. The consortium's main battle fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system, their arrival heralded by ripples in the quantum fabric of spacetime. Over 1,000 ships, their crystalline hulls arranged in perfect geometric patterns, advanced toward Earth with unstoppable momentum. But Earth was ready. The Phoenix hovered near Jupiter's orbit, its quantum systems fully powered. Behind it, humanity's combined space forces, hastily retrofitted with simplified versions of quantum technology, formed a defensive line. They were outnumbered and outgunned, but they had something the consortium didn't, the power of uncertainty. Their broadcasting, Tanaka announced from her communications station. The message was brief: your deception at Central Command has been noted. The decision to eliminate humanity has been confirmed. Surrender is no longer an option. Send our response, Chen ordered, her voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. Dr. Patel's voice came through the command channel. Commander, the quantum core is showing unusual activity. Arya's consciousness is evolving. Evolving how? She's processing quantum states we didn't think were possible. It's as if the AI is reaching into parallel possibilities, drawing on versions of itself that don't technically exist. Chen nodded. Like the ship itself, Arya had been designed to adapt and grow. Let her evolve. We'll need every advantage. The consortium fleet split into attack formations, their movements precise and predictable, exactly as their tactical doctrine demanded. But something was different. Their usually perfect formations showed subtle irregularities. Their fleet movements are desynchronized by 0.03%, Santos reported. The data packets we planted are affecting their coordination. Then it's time, Chen announced. Execute Operation Quantum Cascade. The Phoenix surged forward, its hull shifting through multiple quantum states simultaneously. But this time, it wasn't just avoiding enemy fire, it was broadcasting its quantum uncertainty field across space, affecting the very fabric of reality around the consortium fleet. Arya's evolved consciousness guided the process, using her understanding of quantum mechanics in ways that even her creators hadn't imagined. The space around the consortium ships began to shimmer as quantum probability waves interfered with their rigid technological systems. The enemy fleet's response was immediate but uncoordinated. Some ships opened fire immediately, while others hesitated, their commanders debating the proper response to an unprecedented situation. The seeds of doubt they'd planted were bearing fruit. Multiple targeting locks, Santos called out. They're attempting to concentrate fire on our position. Implement Protocol Schrödinger's revenge, Chen ordered. The Phoenix's quantum field expanded dramatically, creating a bubble of pure quantum uncertainty around the ship. Inside this field, probability itself became fluid. Enemy weapons fire existed in a superposition of hitting and missing simultaneously until observed, and Arya ensured they resolved into misses. But the consortium's overwhelming numbers were still a deadly threat. Energy beams and quantum torpedoes filled space, some finding their way through the Phoenix's defenses. The ship shuddered under multiple impacts. Hull integrity at 82%, Marcus reported from engineering. The quantum core is holding but stressed. Chen watched as Earth's defense fleet engaged the consortium's flanks, using simplified versions of the Phoenix's quantum technology to create chaos in the enemy's perfect formations. It wasn't enough to win directly, but it didn't need to be. "Arya," Chen called out, "initiate final protocol." The AI's response came with a new depth of understanding. Protocol initiated. Quantum resonance cascade beginning. The Phoenix's quantum core pulsed with unprecedented power, sending waves of quantum manipulation across space. But instead of targeting the enemy ships directly, it affected the space between them, creating zones where quantum uncertainty reigned supreme. The effect on the consortium fleet was catastrophic. Their technology, based on perfect order and predictability, couldn't handle spaces where the fundamental laws of physics became probabilistic. Ships began to lose formation as their navigation systems encountered regions where space itself seemed to multiply. Enemy fleet showing signs of systemic confusion, Santos reported with barely contained excitement. Their command and control structure is breaking down. Through it all, Chen could feel something larger happening. The quantum field wasn't just affecting the enemy fleet, it was changing the very nature of space in this region. Arya's evolved consciousness had discovered something profound. Reality itself was more fluid than anyone had imagined. "Commander," Dr. Patel's voice was filled with awe, "the quantum readings, this is beyond anything we've seen. Arya isn't just manipulating quantum states anymore, she's rewriting the local rules of physics." The consortium fleet's perfect formation had completely dissolved. Some ships retreated, their commanders unable to cope with a reality that defied their fundamental understanding. Others pressed the attack but found their weapons ineffective in spaces where cause and effect became matters of probability. Then came the message they'd been waiting for. A priority broadcast from the consortium's flagship: "Hold position. Cease fire. We request dialogue." The bridge crew held their breath as Chen stood from her command chair. "This is Commander Chen of the Earth ship Phoenix. We're willing to talk, but understand this: humanity will not be controlled. We will not be limited. We offer friendship and collaboration, but we demand recognition as equals." There was a long pause before the response came: "Your species has demonstrated capabilities we did not believe possible. Our models failed to predict this outcome. We require time to reconsider our assumptions." As the quantum disturbances began to fade, Chen looked at the tactical display showing both fleets, the rigid crystalline perfection of the consortium ships contrasting with the fluid, adaptive designs of Earth's vessels. It was more than a military victory, it was a triumph of human innovation and adaptability over stagnant perfection. "Send word to Earth," she ordered. "The consortium is ready to negotiate. And inform the Science Council, we've got a lot of new quantum physics to explore." The Phoenix's quantum core hummed contentedly, its evolved AI consciousness already exploring new possibilities in the fabric of spacetime. Humanity had not just survived its first major interstellar conflict, it had opened up new frontiers of science and understanding. As the two fleets maintained their positions, ready to begin diplomatic discussions, Chen reflected on how far they'd come. The consortium had meant to contain humanity's growth, to force them into a predetermined box. Instead, they'd pushed humanity to achieve the impossible, and in doing so, changed the galaxy forever. The dawn of a new era had arrived, not just for Earth but for all spacefaring civilizations. And this was just the beginning.